Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to discuss about the development of endosperm. Before start, we will revise this diagram once again. As you know, it is the diagram of double fertilization. In this process, what happens? Whatever the two male gametes transporting through this pollen tube reach up to the pollen sac. Reach up to the egg inside this ovule, and out of the two male gametes, one of the male gametes fertilizes with this egg cell and another fertilizes over here, secondary nucleus. Okay, so what happens? What is the product of this double fertilization? When one of the male gamete fuses with the egg, at that time this process is called as syngamy, which forms zygote. The product of this syngamy is zygote. Okay, diploid zygote is produced, and the product of triple fertilization, that is when the another male gamete fuses with the secondary nucleus here, at that time there is the formation of primary endosperm nucleus. Okay, means the development of embryo, that is zygote, as well as development of this endosperm takes place simultaneously. So first of all, we'll discuss about development of endosperm. The triploid primary endosperm nucleus repeatedly divides mitotically to form nutritive tissue called as endosperm. Okay, as you know, here the product of this is endosperm, and the product of this first fertilization is formation of zygote. So the triploid primary endosperm nucleus repeatedly divides mitotically to form nutritive tissue called endosperm. In post-fertilization changes within the ovule, the embryo and endosperm are seen to develop simultaneously. Just now I told you that after fertilization, whatever the events takes place, that is called as post-fertilization changes, and which takes place inside the anatropous ovule. Generally, that ovule is anatropous because micropylar end present at the downward direction. Okay, so in post fertilization changes within the ovule, the embryo and endosperm both. Embryo is the product of first fertilization, that is the fusion of male gamete with the egg cell, and endosperm is the product of second fertilization, that is fertilization of second male gamete with the secondary nucleus. Okay, so development of this embryo and endosperm seen to develop simultaneously. In other cells of embryo sac, discharged sooner or later, the formation of triploid endosperm nucleus triggers cell division, which leads to the formation of endosperm. So when we'll see the diagram, then you can understand this. The other cells of embryo sac disorganized sooner or later. They become disorganized, and then there is the formation of triploid endosperm nucleus, which triggers the cell to leads to the formation of endosperm. Now, there are three types of endosperm on the basis of their mode of development. First is the nuclear type of endosperm, second, cellular type of endosperm, and third, halobial type of endosperm. First, nuclear endosperm. See in this diagram, it is the most common type found in 161 angiospermic families. Almost 161 angiosperms show this type of endosperm, that is nuclear type of endosperm. Here the primary endosperm nucleus repeatedly divides mitotically. See, first cell, then repeatedly divides 2, then 4, like this here. So it is the zygote or oospore. So here the primary endosperm nucleus repeatedly divides mitotically without wall formation. Without any wall formation, just nucleus divides. Okay, to produce large number of free nuclei. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then here bunch of nuclei are there. So freely this nuclear division takes place without any cytokinesis. Just nuclear division takes place without any wall formation, and large number of free nuclei are formed. Now, a big central vacuole appears in the center of the cell, pushing the nuclei towards the periphery. Now, this central vacuole, out of all these vacuoles, any one vacuole occupies central position, and due to this central vacuole, all the other nuclei are pushed towards the periphery. Okay, like this. Centrally, this is the vacuole. Here there are many vacuoles, but here only one central vacuole is present in the next steps. So this oospore. Now, later the wall develops between the nuclei. Here see, in the third diagram, around all the nuclei, there the wall formation takes place. Okay, all these are the wall formation takes place. So later walls develop between the nuclei. Hence, multicellular endosperm is formed. This endosperm is multicellular, but in several cases, cell wall formation remains incomplete. Okay, in several cases, cell wall formation remains incomplete. That is, in wheat, sunflower, or coconut, this cell wall formation do not complete. Coconut has a multicellular endosperm in outer part of the free nuclear as well as nucleated endosperm in the center. See, in coconut has multicellular endosperm, many cellular endosperm like this in the outer part. Oh, okay, means all the cells do not perform the function of cytokinesis. Means several in several cases cell wall formation remains incomplete. So in case of coconut, only outer part of the coconut is having cell wall and free nuclear as well as vacuolated endosperm in the center. Okay, free nuclear or vacuolated endosperm present in the center. So it is the type of first type of endosperm, that is nuclear type. Just nuclei forms and afterwards it forms cell wall, free nuclear. After that, second, cellular type of endosperm. In some plants, division of triploid primary endosperm nucleus is immediately followed by cell wall formation. Means as soon as the nuclei is formed, after that immediately cell wall formation takes place. So that the endosperm is cellular right from the beginning. Means from starting itself, there is the presence of nucleus as well as cell wall. The endosperm is cellular right from the beginning. It is mostly observed in 72 families of dicot in members. For example, balsam, petunia, odoxa, all these are the plants in which there is the cellular type of endosperm like this. Okay, embryo, it is present over here, and it is the endosperm. Endosperm. Okay, nutritive tissues. Next, halobial type of endosperm. Here, it occurs in order halobials of monocotyledons. Why the name is halobial type of endosperm? Because this type of endosperm is present in the order, you know, the kingdoms, that hierarchy, kingdom, order, family, genus, species. So order halobials shows this type of endosperm in monocots. Okay, in this case, first division of primary endosperm nucleus is followed by transverse wall. See here, transverse wall formation takes place. First, when there is first division, at that time primary endosperm nucleus is followed by transverse wall, which divides the cell unequally. So this cell is divided unequally due to this transverse wall. The smaller cell is called as chalazal cell and larger is called as micropylar cell. So the smaller it is called as chalazal cell because it is present at the chalazal end, while this larger is called as micropylar cell because it is present at the micropylar end of that ovule. Then the nuclei in each cell divide by free nuclear divisions. First of all, at the time of first nuclear division, cell wall formation takes place and remaining all the process takes place like nuclear endosperm. Okay, so then the nuclei in each cell divided by free nuclear divisions, and then walls develop between the nuclei in micropylar chamber. Okay, it is intermediate between intermediate between cellular and nuclear type of endosperm, both cellular and nuclear. You can see here nuclear also and cell wall as the cell wall formation takes place at first, it shows cellular also. So this type of endosperm is called as halobial type of endosperm, as it is present in the order Halobiales. For example, Asphodelus. Now next, mosaic endosperm. One more type is added in this new syllabus. That is endosperm containing tissues of two different types is called as mosaic endosperm. In plants like corn, the endosperm contains patches of two different colors. It forms short mosaic pattern. Okay, so mosaic endosperm is present in the corn because there are two different types are present. Endosperm containing tissues of two different types is called as mosaic endosperm. And in plants like corn, the endosperm containing patches of two different colors. It looks like a design. So it is called as mosaic endosperm. Now, all this was regarding the endosperm. At the same time, development of embryo also takes place when there is the union of first male gamete with the egg cell. At that time, zygote formation takes place, which will turn into embryo of that plant. So the process of development of zygote into an embryo is called as embryogenesis. Embryo and genesis means formation. So the process of development of zygote into embryo, when zygote turns or converts into embryo, then it is called as embryogenesis. You know that zygote is the first cell of the life which forms after the fertilization of male gamete with the female gamete. At that time, first cell of the life forms, that is called as zygote, and this zygote will become embryo, and then embryo become that new plant. So the process of development of zygote into an embryo is called as embryogenesis. The embryo is developed at the micropylar end of embryo sac. Okay, embryo developed at the micropylar end means this embryo here, micropylar end. Embryo develops at the micropylar end of the cell. Okay, micropylar end of the embryo sac. The growth of embryo triggers only after certain amount of endosperm is formed. The growth of the embryo triggers only after certain amount of endosperm is formed. Means when there is appropriate size of endosperm formation takes place, after that embryo formation generates, embryogenesis starts. Because endosperms are nothing but the endosperms are having nutritive tissues which provides nourishment to that developing embryo. So the growth of embryo triggers only after certain amount of endosperm is formed. After fertilization, the embryonic development begins. Once fertilization takes place, and then there the embryonic development begins. Okay. Then the zygote divides to form. Now see here the zygote. Okay, you can imagine that. Suppose it is the zygote, first cell of the life, oospore. It is also called as oospore or proembryo. See, the zygote divides to form two-celled proembryo. See, it is the two-celled proembryo. It is the first cell zygote, which is also called as oospore. Now, this zygote divides into two cells. This process, this formation of two cells from this zygote is called as proembryo. Next, the larger cell towards the micropyle is called as basal or suspensor initial cell. See, it is the larger, okay, it is the larger cell which is present at the micropylar end. Means now it is inverted diagram. Here there is a micropyle and here there is a chalazha. You should understand this. It is the chalazha now, means here there is the chalazal end and here there is the micropylar end. So whatever the larger cell which is present towards the micropyle is called as basal cell or suspensor initial cell, and this smaller cell which is present towards the chalazha is called as terminal or embryonal initial cell. Okay, future embryo will form from this. That's why it is called as terminal or embryonal initial cell. Now see, the suspensor cell divides transversely in one plane. This suspensor cell divides transversely in one plane to produce filamentous suspensor of 6 to 10 cells. See, this suspensor cell divides like this. After that, 6 to 10 cells are produced, which are filamentous in one plane. Okay, A, B, C, and D. Now next, see here, this suspensor cell divides transversely up to 6 to 10 cells. Now this is called as suspensor, and all this mass is called as plumule, because from this shoot formation will take place. It is the cotyledon E. Now again mitosis takes place, and there is the number of cells are produced, which will make plumule of that plant. It is the suspensor cell, radicle, hypocotyl, and cotyledon. Okay, after that G diagram, this suspensor will disappear, or it will disintegrate, and only this plumule with radicle are there. It is the cotyledon in monocotyledonous plants. It is the radicle, and here there is the plumule. Radicle will give rise to the root system, and plumule will give rise to the shoot system. The first cell of suspensor towards the micropylar end becomes swollen. Now, the first cell of the suspensor towards the micropylar end becomes swollen and function as hostorium. Suspensor cell. It will act as the hostorium. The lowermost of the suspensor cell is known as hypophysis. The suspensor helps in pushing the embryo in the endosperm. So the function of this suspensor is to push this embryo into this endosperm. This outline is endosperm, and inside this there is the embryo. Okay. So suspensor helps in pushing the embryo in the endosperm. The embryonal initial undergoes 3 successive mitotic divisions to form a octant stage. What is octant stage? See, this is the octant stage. 8 cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So when there is the 8 to 10 cells are there, the embryonal initial undergoes the successive mitotic divisions to form octant. The planes of divisions are at right angles to each other. They are at right angle to each other. Now, the lower tier of 4 cells of octant gives rise to the hypocotyl, means this hypocotyl. Okay, this point. The hypophysis, the lower tier of 4 cells of octant gives rise to the hypocotyl and radicle, whereas 4 cells of upper tier form the plumule of 1 or 2 cotyledons. The hypophysis by further division gives rise to the part of radicle and root cap. So from this hypophysis, radicle and root cap, see, from this hypophysis, hypocotyl, the radicle and cotyledon formation takes place. Hypophysis or further division gives rise to the part of radicle and root cap. Subsequently, the cells in upper tier of octant divide in several planes so as to become heart-shaped, which then forms the 2 lateral cotyledons and terminal plumule. So there are the repeated divisions takes place, which forms the heart-shaped endosperm, and then 2 lateral cotyledons takes place. In case of dicots, 2 lateral cotyledons are formed, and terminally there is the plumule, that point. Further enlargement of hypocotyl and cotyledons results in the curvature of embryo, and it appears horseshoe shaped. So in last diagram, you can see here horseshoe shaped structure. Okay, so it is the scutellum, coleoptile, outer covering of this cotyledon, shoot apex, then epiblast, radicle, which will use as root system, then root cap is there, and coleorhiza. Coleorhiza is the covering on radicle, and coleoptile is the covering on these cotyledons. Okay, now next, the embryo development is similar in both dicots and monocots up to the octant stage. Just now I shown you that octant stage. So the development of embryo up to that octant stage is same in dicots as well as in monocots. The difference appears later after this octant stage. Difference you can see in monocot embryo. Sorry, in monocot embryo, single cotyledon occupies terminal position and plumule is lateral. So in case of monocots, you know that there is a single cotyledon and it occupies the terminal position. Okay, the apex, and plumule is lateral, means it is present on the either side. The single shield shaped cotyledon is called as scutellum. See, scutellum, shield shape, shield ढाल सारखा आकार, shield shape, that is called as scutellum. Okay, the protective sheath of plumule is called as coleoptile. Just now I told you the protective sheath covering of plumule is called as coleoptile, and that of radicle is called as coleorhiza. The protective sheath or covering of the plumule is coleoptile and radicle is coleorhiza. See, radicle, the covering of radicle is coleorhiza and the covering of this plumule is coleoptile. Okay, next, finally ovule is transformed into seed. Now the ovule is transformed into seed and the ovary into fruit. Okay, means now that fruit is, if it is edible you can eat, and that seed you should germinate. Okay, now seed and fruit development. How the seed and fruit development takes place? The goal of reproduction, the main purpose of reproduction in angiosperm or in every living organism including plants, is to create offsprings for next generation. Okay, what is the cause or purpose of reproduction? To produce offsprings, to create offsprings like themselves. It may be plants or animals. One of the ways that plants can produce offspring is by forming seeds. You know that whatever the angiospermic or other, so many plants germinate after germinate from seeds. Okay, so one of the ways that plants can produce offspring is by forming or making their seeds. The flowers must be pollinated in order to produce seeds. So when the seed production will take place, after pollination also, all these events just now we have discussed takes place after pollination. So the flowers must be pollinated in order to produce seeds and fruits. Okay, the final product of this pollination is production of seeds and fruits. Seeds from the ovules and fruit from the ovary. Seed development is initiated by fertilization.